Folks, I won't lie to you. I've been through some shitty movies lately, and honestly, I need a bit of a palate cleanser. Something that'll actually be fun to review for once. I mean, I had to sit through a goddamn disaster movie for crying out loud. It's actual torture. Like, I think they used that movie to question war criminals, to break their sprint before asking them about weapons of mass destruction or whatever. Imagine this being the last thing you see before death. Ugh, horrible. So, I need something watchable, and this time around, something from... yeah, those guys. And before we continue, let's just get this out of the way. We open this movie with a nice little Men in Black ripoff where the government agent man wipes the memory of generic love interest. And why did he have to wipe his memory, you ask? Yeah, the movie just continues right where the last one ended. Our hero is back, and if you thought that a fight between these two schlubby, middle-aged, rotund men can't be engaging, well, you'd be right. But goddammit, they were trying. Now, let's take a very quick look at why this film is better than 90% of modern superhero flicks. Listen very closely, fanboys. See, Elastigirl uses her power as well. She's a pro at this. She and Mr. Incredible are co-communicating. Remember when heroes actually communicated instead of mindlessly quipping all the time? Oh, and look at that. A different hero actually saves people by creatively using his abilities. Plus, the younger heroes are doing the groundwork and thinking of the civilians. Why don't we have more of this in our Marvel and DC films? Now, the Happy Family's bendy mommy does her fair share of work in this scene, a foreshadowing that she'll be doing a lot more in this particular film. Goddamn, look at her. The Sam L. Jackson superhero is also proving himself useful, preventing the Underminer's big, hard drill from penetrating an American monument with rough, thrusting emotions. Sam L. Jackson manages to flee, but not before talking to this well-dressed extra. I wonder if this scene is foreshadowing anything else. Obviously, the cops aren't having any of the vigilantism business, so they're letting our heroes know they're on short notice, and Mr. Man in Black tells them that in 2 weeks, they should be getting an eviction notice. The Incredibles argue, of course, since one half of the family wants to do the hero thing, while the other wants to follow the rules. It's a fine little conflict, actually, and quite expected from a family like this. Okay, I've been praising this movie too much. This is a comedy channel after all, so let me mock it a bit for good measure. Feeling nostalgic, the three geriatric superheroes decide to visit a rich, snooty nerd guy wearing the most appropriate outfits of all, flasher trench coats. But halfway through, they decide that wearing old costumes is far more embarrassing than being nude under a trench coat, so they quickly change outfits. Jeez, Mr. Incredible's man titties got worse in the 14 years between the two movies. But damn, did they make Helen thick. I swear, if I stare at her too much, I'll get a job at the New Yorker reviewing movies. So, with Bulky, Thicky, and Coldy waiting in the big room, their ticket to a better life comes, and it's in the form of a slimy capitalist fanboy, Winston. And as it turns out, he has a no-nonsense genius sister who makes weird gadgets and is super smart. Nothing shady here, folks. The five of them enter a room where Nerdy shows off his huge screen. Oh, and tells them about reintegrating superheroes and stuff. Oh, and wouldn't you know it, Nerdy's father was also a fan of superheroes. I wonder if he'll be a point of contention between the two characters. It's just a nice little coincidence that it runs in the family, that's all. Of course, this is a 2018 movie, so the star of the film has to be female. But see, Pixar knows how to handle well-rounded female characters. Thicky is not actually particularly sure if she wants the job or not. Or it doesn't help that Bulky feels threatened by her potential success and his potential non-involvement. Furthermore, the two discuss the matter like actual human beings and not stereotypes that are all too common in modern Hollywood. It blows my mind that this movie was made in 2018 and manages to be this decent. Dare I even say, good? Okay, I gotta stop praising this film. Remember, dude, you have to rip into it. Naturally, with the new job, Bulky, Thicky, Gani, Speedy, and Baby get a new house. Complete with Iron Man-style features, I can't even imagine what this crap costs us honorable taxpayers. And Thicky gets a new outfit. Oh, wait, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, the movie. So, the kids banter with the dad back and forth before going to school. Now, while Thicky is out there breaking 17 different laws with her outfit alone, Bulky is trying to connect to Gani over her growing puberty, attempting to put Baby to sleep, and immortalizing his persona by creating a wholesome meme in the process. Naturally, Thicky does well with her new job, even earning herself a potential nemesis in the process. By the way, Screenslaver is a really stupid name. Anyway, Dear old Bulky keeps striking out, not being able to help out Gani when she stood up by her non-entity of a love interest and failing to put baby to sleep. Luckily, he finds out that the baby has a shit ton of superpowers that get activated whenever it's reminded of a Marvel movie, like in these scenes where it fights Rocket Raccoon over box office revenue data on Rotten Tomatoes. Talking to his wife, Bulky develops an inferiority complex and having a midlife crisis, not unlike ones that Karens across the globe have. He eagerly decides to up the ante and become the best dad imaginable. Back at school, Gandhi talks to her boy Fantasy only to learn that his own brain literally does a soft reboot. Naturally, she thinks he's purposefully avoiding her, so she storms off in a fit of rage. Naturally, our girl Thicky is living it up, meeting Hillary Clinton here and going on an interview with the most generic-looking news anchor. Screenslaver strikes again, deciding to identify as several attack helicopters, so our girl manages to stop him and save the political elite of the city. Oh joy. In the meantime, Gani gets pissed at her daddy for erasing her only chance of early pregnancy. On the other side of the plot, obviously, Thicky does not get the main villain, so she has to pal around with a bunch of new superheroes, with one literally called Karen, complete with haircut, no less. And while the heroes mingle, the two women talk about how oppressed they are, how much powerful they are than the men in their life, and they overall bond and pal around. I sure hope this doesn't lead to some powerful twist. Now, let's compare and contrast the dynamic of the family for a moment. Bulky, Gani, and Speedy get a nice sitcom family moment at the restaurant, while Thicky gets to play the Black Widow, going after the mean old screenslaver whom she of course captures with the help of Nerdy's sister's tech. The baby shows the family that it's roughly as powerful as an entire cinematic universe worth of superheroes or a single Nokia 3310, and it prompts Bulky to explode and yell at his kids just like a father should. Don't judge me, I was raised in the Midwest. Coldy comes over, and due to his own evident lack of fathering skills, he isn't much help. Desperate for a minute of sleep, Bulky takes the baby to Zoe. Initially, the eccentric person of short stature does not want baby, but the second the little tyke shows its knowledge of plastic surgery, she decides to babysit after all. Naturally, the creme de la creme of society celebrates Thicky's new costume. Oh, and her victory over the screenslaver. And while Karen is asking to see the manager, she notices something odd. But in order to build tension, the director has decided to give a father-daughter moment instead. Good old Pixar can't go 2 minutes without cramming that sweet, sweet, sappy emotion down the audience's throats. Back at the party, Thicky is talking to Nerdy's sister about the whole screenslaver thing, and oh my god, the sister of Nerdy's the baddie. Who would have thunk it? Bulky, Zoe, and Baby have their own cutesy scenes together, and apparently this tiny individual whose sole purpose is to sew costumes can make an honest-to-God baby controlling device. The main goddamn villain from the last movie couldn't fight the baby, and yet this one whips up a remote for that same baby in a single night. Power of the plot, folks. Of course, Baddie has to explain to Thicky why she's evil and how she really disagrees with everything superhero related and blah blah blah. Let's get away to the cutesy Disney family being silly. Aww. Like any other villain, Baddie has a plan, so she decides to get both Bulky and Coldy in one spot. The two semi-retirees depart, prompting the junior division to suit up and go after them. Oh look, Karen and the rest of the throwaway heroes are now hired muscle, or rather brainwash muscle. Let's see here. Coldy arrives, the heroes' goggles are glowing, Speedy has a remote behind his back. Folks, we might just have a superhero throwdown. Oh yeah, forgot to mention that this car, Bulky's old ride, it's gonna have an impact on the scene. That's why they focus so damn much on it earlier in the film. Let's kick it into high gear here, folks. Both Coldy and Bulky are turned, the kids make a mad dash in the souped up car, and it literally James Bonds them into the water so they can follow the Jeffrey Epstein yacht and save their parents. The Junior Brigade is, of course, not highly successful in releasing their parents, while the disappearing puberty bomb fighting the literal definition of an annoying clingy girlfriend, while the dorky-haired ADHD dweeb can't seem to keep a toddler in check. And I can only crap on these scenes because I love them so much, folks. It's kind of quaint and cute when you think about it. In contrast, the Accord signing thing is boring as shit. Let's go back to the kids' antics. Look at that. 3 turned superheroes go after the juniors, the baby turns huge, the superheroes end up flattened, and the baby pulverizes several walls. Genius! Okay, so the evil plan is in motion, but thanks to the lovable baby, Thicky gets snapped into reality, and then so does everyone else. We're about to hit the end of the movie where Baddie and Nerdy are taking off, Bulky and Crushy are fighting, and Coldy is molesting the ocean with his ice touch. Naturally, at the climax, we have Thicky joining the Mile High Club, Coldy and Bulky getting all moist, and the side characters also getting their shot in the spotlight, without a sexual metaphor. And since I'm running out of time, I'll just summarize the rest. Ship saved, hero's cool, villain slammer, judge pro-hero, and all's well that ends well. Oh, and some good old family fun to cap off the movie. And that, my friends, is how you make a decent superhero movie. It was hard to shit on it. I swear, I can't shit on decent movies. It's a weakness. So thank you, Pixar. Thank you for making me feel clean again. I love you. Mwah.